Hello everyone, this is Miss Krampf and we are going to be starting with recorder today. So here's your recorder with your case. You're going to take this flap off and just pinch your recorder out nice and gently and pull it out like this. So just a reminder, when we have our recorder, we have this top part. This is the mouthpiece where we put our mouth. We move all the way down. We have the different holes that we're going to be placing our fingers on to make different notes. And before we do anything, before we play a song, before we make any sound on the recorder, we make sure that we go through our recorder checklist. So that's really, really important. So the first thing that we always do is we make sure that we have our left hand on top of the recorder. So take your hands like this. The one that makes an L is your left hand. So I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to have my thumb go on the back hole of this recorder. It has a little B on it, which helps us remember that this is going to be our note B. So you're going to put your thumb and put it all the way across there. And then your pointer finger on the first hole of the front. So that's left hand on top. Our right hand kind of holds the recorder in place so that when we're ready to play, we're ready to go. So I have my left hand on top and then my right hand placed at the bottom. So that's really important. The next thing that we do on our checklist is making sure we have flat fingers. I notice a lot of people will use curved fingers, but then that doesn't really cover the hole. So we want to make sure our fingers are really flat. So notice, see if you're doing that too. Are you totally covering the hole? Finally, check and see if you have paw prints. They look like this. There's circles on your fingers when you're pushing down. That way we know that they're really, really tight and covering the holes. Great, so let's practice. We're gonna go into resting position first. Resting is with the recorder on your lap. And then ready position is taking your left hand on top, flat fingers, paw prints at your chin. All right, let's practice. Resting position. Ready position. One more time. Resting position. Ready position. And then of course, our playing position is when we actually start playing the recorder and putting the mouthpiece in our mouth. The recorder positions are really, really important. The resting is like our stop, red light. Our ready is like the yellow light, and playing is when it's time to go with our green light. So make sure you remember those, especially when we're working together on Zoom. So now that we have our positions ready and we know our left hand is on top, we're going to actually start playing the recorder. And our goal is to just play our first note, which is note B. And that's going to be the first note in our song, Hot Cross Buns. So when you play this, it's really, really important to use soft, light air. A lot of people think if you blow really, really hard, it'll make the recorder sound nice, but it'll actually do the opposite and make you squeak. So if you feel like you're playing and you hear a squeaking sound, that means that you're playing with air that's too fast. So everyone take your hand like this, and I want you to blow really fast, cold air. That isn't the type of air we want when we're playing the recorder. Pretend you're fogging up a window glass. That's the type of air we want, nice and slow. So let's give that a try. Ready position, left hand on top, pushing down the back hole and the front top hole. We're going to try to play note B. It should sound like this. And that's the sound you want. Can you try it with me? Ready? Go. Pause this video for a few seconds and see if you can practice playing that with nice, soft, light air. If you're ready to move on, you can add something that we call tonguing. That's where your tongue makes the sound tu, tu, tu to help enunciate each note. Instead of just going, where you're just blowing air and not having each note be precise, the tonguing helps you make each note count. So listen to my tonguing. Hear the break in between? That's my tongue going two, two, two. Can everyone practice? Two, two, two. You try. Two, two, two. All right, let's try playing it on the recorder. And of course, I have my correct fingering because we're just doing our one note B. The next note that we're going to learn is A. A is where we add one finger down, but notice I didn't move my other fingers at all. So it sounds like this. Just a little bit lower. Listen to B and A together. Here's B first, and A. Now, sometimes it's hard to push down both of the holes at the same time. So if you're having a tricky time, what I would suggest is you doing something called shadow playing. Shadow playing is when you take your fingers and you just move them without playing. This is a great thing to do when you're at home and maybe your family is busy or someone's on another Zoom call and you can't play and make a lot of noise. You can play through tons of songs just by moving your fingers, and that's really good practice. So can you practice going from B to A, picking up this finger back and forth, and then checking to make sure you have your paw prints and then once you feel confident, you can add playing again. So let's try this. I'm going to go between B and A. Awesome. Now we're going to add in our last note, G. And that looks like this. I still have my thumb covering the back hole, and this time I have 1, 2, 3 of the holes covered, starting from the top. If you hear this, it goes B, A, G. It spells the word bag. That helps me remember the notes really, really well. So our goal for this week is to practice playing B, A, and G all together. 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger. So try it with me. If you make a mistake, that's okay. Ready, go. Those are our 3 notes. And believe it or not, those are our 3 notes for the song Hot Cross Buns. And that's actually the first song we're going to be learning on the recorder today. So if you can get these 3 notes really, really solid, you're already on your way to getting your first white belt. So let's play this one more time. So let me make sure I did my checklist. Was my left hand on top? Yes. Was I using flat fingers? Yes. Did I have paw prints? I sure did. Was I using soft, light air? Did I have the correct fingerings where I pushed the fingers down and covered the holes really, really tight? Was I going toot, toot, toot and tonguing on my mouthpiece? And can I go through all of my recorder positions? Those are the things you need to check every single time you practice. If you're not doing the checklist, then it's going to be hard to make improvements. All right, so let's try all of those things. Resting position, ready position, left hand on top, flat fingers, paw prints. Get ready for tonguing, correct fingering, and light air. Let's try it. B, A, G. Ready, go. If you were squeaking at all, the things I would suggest practicing is that light air or making sure you really cover your fingers and do that shadow practicing. Even if you're sitting and watching TV for 5 minutes, if you sit and move your fingers like this, it's going to just train your motor skills a little bit. That's what I do all the time. Once you get these 3 notes, check out the next video because we're going to go over hot cross buns. Nice job. See you later. Bye.